is up, my sinners and saints? Welcome back to The Raging Atheist. I'm your boy Nakasuchi, and today I'm going to be looking again at my friend Justin, that Christian vlogger, and the series he's doing where he's talking with Matthias about being gay, being Christian, having this great conversation that they are having on their channels, and I want to talk about it.
If you remember our last episode, Matthias shared with us what it was like coming out of the closet to his Christian parents, his current thoughts on homosexuality, and what he would do if Jesus showed up today and told him that everything he believed about the subject was wrong. But today we're going to be turning our attention towards some of our viewer-submitted topics and asking the question, is it possible to disagree with the gay lifestyle and not be considered a homophobic person?
I'm going to admit that I've never really thought about this question like that. I've always kind of been black and white about this. When I was a Christian, I was a homophobe, therefore most Christians must be homophobes as well. And I've been very black and white, and I've been one to put everybody in that labeled box, if you will. And, you know, this video has really made me look at that a little bit. And it's not black and white. It is complex, and there's a lot of aspects to this question.
And the question that we're going to be looking at today is, can I disagree with your lifestyle and not be called a homophobe? I think that this is such a great question because for myself and so many of my other Christian friends, you know, we hold a traditional view on sexuality and what it means to be faithful in that respect. And yet we care about people. I care about you, even if we disagree, if we have different lifestyles or anything else like that. I care about you, and I want to be your friend. I want to reach out to other people and connect, not disconnect. And so I think that this is such a great question.
And this is really a mind-boggling question. It is really baffling to think about that if you don't agree with a lifestyle, then are you a homophobe? If you don't agree with the gay lifestyle, does that mean that you don't like these people? And if you do like people still, but just disagree with the lifestyle, does that make you a homophobe? And that's a hard one to answer. I know from my personal experience, when I was a homophobe, I had a hatred. I had a hatred that was bred from fear and not understanding. And it was ingrained in me from a very young age. As long as I can remember, I had that hatred stemming from that fear. So, you know, it's easy for me to classify that version of myself back then as a homophobe. But what if you're a Christian and you don't really hate gay people, but you disagree with their lifestyle? I think the answer is yes, but there's different levels of homophobia. You know, disagreeing with a lifestyle and thinking somebody's an abomination is two different things. They're two different things altogether. And if you're the type of Christian that automatically believes that gay people are abominations in the eyes of God, then I think you are a homophobe, and you need to look at that aspect of your church, and you need to evolve beyond that. But if you are just ignorant of it, if you haven't really had that chance to find humanity and something unknown to you, are you a homophobe or are you just ignorant? And I think that intelligent people, if ignorant about something, are going to try to strive to learn about and defeat their ignorance, and that's a huge problem in society today. You know, not enough people are exploring their ideology to find out what's fact and what's fiction. You know, not enough people are trying to go outside of themselves to look at it from another person's point of view, have empathy, and I'm guilty of this myself, and this is something that I need to work on.
And I think there's an underlying fear there, kind of initially, of like, if I come to you and disagree with you, are you just going to dismiss me?
The reason why that's a question that matters to me is because I don't want to be labeled by a category of people as boom, right? Like that I'm different from, that I'm rejected, that you think negatively of me, right?
You know, what got me over my homophobia was getting to know somebody, getting to learn their humanity and understand that they were just a normal dude just like I was, had hopes and dreams and wanted a family and didn't want to be alone. You know, I think it's a quite natural human behavior to not want any subgroup to hate you or to look at you in a negative light. I don't want people to hate me. We have to be brave enough to make our stances known and risk that. You know, you risk that, and it's gonna come, and people aren't gonna like what you say, and then a lot of people will like what you say, and you know, you have to stop worrying about what they're thinking so much and just look at yourself. Am I a good human being? Is this right? I mean, you can believe in the Christian God and not take every little thing in that Bible as, you know, point blank fact. You can believe in a Christian God and not hate gay people or not want to hold them down or not want to give them the same rights that you have. This whole idea of marriage being something of God, it makes no sense to me. Marriage is something of humanity. Marriage is a bond between two people that love each other. It has, in my opinion, nothing to do with God. You know, religions have adopted it because it's an age-old custom. We naturally want to be with another human being. We don't want to be alone. So, of course, religion would adopt that and make it integral to their dogma. But it was never religious. You know, this whole concept that you have to be a man and a woman to be married is bullshit, because we create our own realities. Our perceptions, our individual perception creates its own individual universe. There's billions of universes walking around Earth right now. That's some philosophy for you. And the whole point of all of that rambling was there was no point. I told you I'm not feeling well and I just kind of went on a tangent. But I think hopefully I made some kind of point there.
But that idea of lifestyle, I think, and can I disagree with your lifestyle?
The homosexual
lifestyle
is a phrase that's thrown out a lot in religious circles.
Absolutely.
And we might be, I say we as the people who disagree with the yous, we mean something, but it doesn't always quite communicate what I perhaps am intending for it to mean.
Right. Because I mean, my immediate question is like, what is the gay lifestyle?
You know, I get that a lot myself as an atheist. Christians have these preconceived notions of me as being, a lot of them actually think I'm a devil worshiper, or I follow Satan just because I'm an atheist. And you know, naturally, these people aren't going to want to get to know me at all once they find out what I am, and I'm pretty vocal about what I am. Now, some do. Some try to change me. Most Christians that I've ever known since I've been an atheist has tried to convert me into their religion, back into their religion, and I try to tell them over and over again that once you wake up to the truth, there's just no going back to that. You know, I broke that childhood programming, and I could, even sometimes, trust me, I wish I could go back. I really do. I wish that I could go back. But I get this a lot too. Like, they just automatically think that I'm the worst human being on the planet, lacking of all morality, just because I'm an atheist. So I totally get what Matthias is saying here.
Like, is it me on a Tuesday night watching Top Chef eating ice cream in bed? Like, is that the gay lifestyle? Like, I mean, that's a pretty typical evening for me. Like, and I look at that and think, you saying the gay lifestyle, the homosexual lifestyle, means about just as much as me saying your straight lifestyle, in that it describes pretty much nothing. Mm-hmm. Like
it describes everything, and therefore it describes nothing.
Right.
You know, and that's what we got to do to defeat all of this. We just got to realize that everybody is human beings. You know, that just because I'm an atheist and I don't believe in your God doesn't make me a bad human being. And that I have the same hopes and dreams, maybe not the same, but I have hopes and dreams like you do. I enjoy things as you do. I try to take care of my daughter, and you know, I try to be a good person. Just because I don't believe in a God doesn't mean I'm going around breaking the law all the time. I believe in law and order. I believe in being a good person. I'm a humanist. I believe every person has merit, even those I disagree with the most, conservatives and religious people. I think once we all come to that level of enlightenment, the world will be a better place.
So with this question, I always want to start kind of diving into the particulars a little bit more. What is it about the way that I'm living my life that you disagree with? And usually when I hear that question is usually my decision to date men, or the fact that I believe that LGBT people can get married and enter into relationships that are blessed by God, that there can be sexual activity within those relationships. That's usually the crux of the disagreement.
I mean, I really don't understand how any marriage is blessed by God. Most marriages in the modern age, even the marriages, which most marriages are supposedly in the eyes of God, or God is watching, and I mean, I just don't understand how God blesses these marriages. Why? Just because some preacher up there and says some words, and what? I mean, I go to these weddings and I don't have lightning striking me down because I'm not a Christian, or I don't believe in that God, and yet if he's watching, wouldn't he be so offended by me? I mean, Jesus said, if you're offended, pluck your eyeball out. Wouldn't God strike me down? They used to actually believe that shit. You know, I'm not making this up. So I just don't really understand how God is blessing shit, or how anybody can argue that nobody has the right to marry who they want. Now, I'm not saying you have a right to go marry your dog, but you have a right to marry a human being that's in a consensual relationship within the confines of the law. Any human being should have that right. This is the modern era. This isn't the dark ages where your religion was able to dictate who could and could not marry each other. Or, you know, if you want to get real dark, back in them days, they killed a lot of gay people for being gay. They killed a lot of atheists for being atheists. And I'm glad we don't live back then no more.
And I'm just an ordinary person. Like, we're just ordinary people living pretty ordinary lives. Mm-hmm. In my opinion, there's no such thing as a gay lifestyle. Just as much as I don't really think there's such a thing as a straight lifestyle. We can't paint in that kind of monolithic, broad brushstrokes in these conversations.
I totally agree with that. I need to do this myself. I need to be better about this myself. I need to empathize better. I need to stop being so judgmental. Stop seeing everything as in such black and white terms. So I completely 100% agree with what Matthias is saying right here.
So am I to take from that question could be better articulated so as to not offend someone who happens to be gay?
Offending is such an interesting concept, and I tend to try to move away from that because I think it can get we get into like political correctness and respectability politics and that.
And you're not
stuff.
Interested in that.
That's not really what I'm interested in. Mm-hmm. Like, I want to see people as people, and I think when we do that, we can get away from seeing people as people, and so I would phrase it more in. It's much more respectful of me to not label me with a broad brush.
Those are very good humanist points that Matthias is making, and I agree once again with him. We do need to see each other as human beings. If you hate something, it's pretty much derived from a fear of that thing. And the only way you're going to overcome that fear is to get to know that thing. Get to know these people for the human beings that they are. I need to do that more with religious people. Just be more sympathetic, but don't worry, I'm still gonna be the raging atheist. It's what I do, but just in my life, I need to be more sympathetic and empathize more with how what I'm saying is affecting other human beings, and I need to be aware of that. And at the same time, though, I don't need to filter myself for their benefit. I just need to be aware of the things that I'm saying.
Do you consider me a homophobe?
Yeah.
And if so, why? And if not, why not?
Right. I mean, ultimately, I would probably say no. Like, we can get as high level of social theory as we want in there.
We're talking about this a little bit.
There's a lot of complexity in there, but I can functionally pretty much say no.
Yeah.
And I think, I mean, you kind of highlight that issue of feeling attacked on both sides, and I think that's something that from both camps we can work on in our own communities. Mm-hmm. Of, are we extending graciousness and kind of the benefit of the doubt to each other when we enter these conversations.
And I know you seem to be very worried about what people think, that if people consider you a homophobe, and I would like to help my friend, that Christian vlogger, and just answer a few questions for yourself. One, do you believe gay people are abominations? And if you do, you might be a homophobe. Two, do you think that gay people can be Christians as long as they never date or have sex with the same gender? Because that's some bullshit if you think that. And yes, I know you guys are getting along, but if you think that, then yes, I would consider you a homophobe. Because that is bullshit. That is wrong. That is fundamentally wrong to me, to think that these people need to suppress themselves to fit your idea of Christianity. I do not agree with that. And I would personally think that that is homophobia. 3, would you be real friends with the gay man, with Matthias, for instance, or just any gay man? What about a gay atheist? Would you be real friends with them and not judge them for that? You know, I would, if you can answer these questions, if you can't answer these questions, that doesn't make you a bad person. It just means you need to grow and really think about this, and you're on the right step, of course. I have highly commended you for this series, but I would really look at your belief systems, and if they're bothering you, then deep down you know that those beliefs are inherently wrong. And they're bothering you for a reason, and you should take stock of that.
I mean, ultimately, like homophobe is not a word that I throw around lightly. It's not a word that I usually will label almost anyone with. If I see someone who's engaging in a way of, whether we agree or not, who's engaging in that kind of way and extending that grace, I mean, both to themselves and to other people, that's probably not going to cross my mind. But on the other hand, if someone's not, if someone is just labeling me gay lifestyle, I disagree,
without getting to know you,
without getting to know me, like, then I start to wonder.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this video has really opened my eyes a little bit. I need to stop being so judgmental. And yeah, just because you disagree with a lifestyle, I don't think that automatically makes you a homophobe. But I do think that you need to look at these beliefs, and if these beliefs are bothering you and are making you question yourself, then it's time to evolve these beliefs. And I know it's when you start questioning your religion, most times you're gonna end up like me, and that's probably not what you want. But you should question your religion, especially if it's telling you to hate something, because hatred just isn't healthy. As always, I'm your boy Nakasuchi. This is The Raging Atheist. I'm not feeling too well today, so hopefully this makes sense and I can edit a good video for you guys. If you like my videos, hit that thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, share me on your social media, comment in the comment section below. I'll see you soon.